My name is Claire, and if you had asked me a year ago, I would have said my life was perfect. I had a stable marriage, a nice home, and a job I loved. My husband, Eric, was charming and funny. Everyone said we were the perfect couple. We traveled together, hosted dinners, and shared dreams about our future. At least, that's what I thought. Deep down, though, there were signs. Late nights at work, secretive texts, sudden trips for business. I ignored them because I believed in us. I trusted him. Looking back, I wish I had trusted myself more. Eric started changing slowly. He stopped asking me about my day. He stopped making plans with me. Everything was always later or I'm busy. I figured he was stressed. I tried to be supportive, cooking his favorite meals, planning small getaways, giving him space when he needed it. But he pulled further away. I told myself it was just a rough patch. Every marriage has them, right? I didn't want to be the wife who nagged. I wanted to be patient, loyal. What I didn't know was that while I was waiting for him, he was already halfway out the door. The final blow came on a Friday afternoon. I got a text from Eric. It wasn't the usual running late message. No, this one hit like a hammer. "Hey Claire," it read, "just wanted you to know I married someone else. She's 22. We're in Hawaii. Oh, and I moved all the money out of our accounts. Take care." I stared at the screen, my hands shaking. My heart pounded so loudly I could barely hear anything else. For a moment, the world tilted. I reread the message, thinking maybe I misunderstood. But no, it was all right there, cruel and clear. I should have cried, I should have screamed. But instead, I laughed. A sharp, humorless laugh that echoed through the empty kitchen. I wasn't laughing because it was funny. I was laughing because it was insane. After everything I had given him, my trust, my time, my heart, he thought he could just erase me with a text. He thought he could humiliate me, destroy me, and skip away with a girl half his age. My laugh turned into a calm smile. Eric had no idea who he was dealing with. I wasn't some helpless woman. He had just made the biggest mistake of his life. The first thing I did was call the bank. I explained the situation calmly and asked them to freeze everything still in my name. Luckily, I had my own private savings account. One Eric didn't know about. My father had taught me to always keep something aside, just in case. Thank God I listened. I also called my lawyer, Mr. Bennett, a sharp, no-nonsense man who didn't waste time with pity. He told me to gather all the financial documents I could find. I spent the entire night digging through folders, drawers, and files. Every paper became a weapon in my hands. Eric might have emptied the joint accounts, but he had made mistakes. Big ones. He had transferred money without my signature on certain investments. Illegal under our marital agreement. He had hidden assets but left trails. And most importantly, he had forgotten one tiny detail: the house. Our beautiful, expensive house was in my name only. Bought with money from my inheritance, long before I met him. He couldn't touch it. As I realized this, I felt stronger. Piece by piece, I was putting together my comeback. Eric thought he had played me, but he didn't realize the game wasn't over. By Monday morning, Mr. Bennett had filed an emergency petition with the court, freezing Eric's remaining assets, demanding full financial disclosure, hitting him with lawsuits so fast he probably choked on his tropical drink. I didn't tell Eric anything. Let him enjoy his little honeymoon. Let him think he had won. Meanwhile, I worked quietly and ruthlessly behind the scenes. Every time I felt a pang of sadness, I remembered the smugness in his message. I wasn't chasing him. I wasn't begging. I was building something stronger. My freedom, my future, my revenge. And it tasted a lot sweeter than hate. Within weeks, the court summoned Eric back home. Imagine the scene. Eric, tan and smiling, returning from paradise, only to be served the moment he stepped off the plane. I didn't see it happen, but Mr. Bennet described it gleefully. The shock, the rage, the realization that he wasn't untouchable after all. The new wife, clinging to his arm, must have realized quickly that the gold mine she married was drying up fast. I stayed out of sight. No screaming, no confrontations. I let the law do the talking. It was cleaner that way. And honestly, it hurt him more. Eric tried to call me. He sent texts filled with insults, then apologies, then threats. I didn't answer a single one. Silence was my loudest weapon. Let him talk to my lawyer if he wanted answers. I spent my days focusing on myself, fixing the house, reconnecting with old friends, and starting a side business I had dreamed about for years. I realized how much of myself I had lost trying to hold our marriage together. Eric hadn't just betrayed me. He had freed me. And every day without him felt like another chain falling away from my life. The divorce dragged on for months. Eric fought dirty, trying to hide money, delay hearings, and make my life difficult. But every time he pulled a trick, Mr. Bennet pulled out evidence even stronger. Eventually, Eric realized he was cornered. In the final settlement, I got the house, my private savings untouched, and a chunk of Eric's future earnings through court-ordered repayments. His shiny new life with his young wife wasn't looking so shiny anymore. I didn't even have to see him in court. Mr. Bennet handled everything. All I had to do was sign the final papers, with a smile. After the divorce finalized, people started talking. Small-town gossip travels fast. I heard stories about Eric's new marriage, how the young wife wasn't happy living in a tiny rental, how the bills were piling up, how Eric was scrambling to find a new job since he lost credibility after some of his financial games came to light. I didn't feel sorry for him. Actions have consequences. He had thrown away a loyal partner for a fling, and now he was living with the mess he created. Meanwhile, I was finally breathing fresh air for the first time in years. With the money from the settlement and my own savings, I opened a small cafe downtown. It had always been my dream. A cozy place with good coffee, homemade pastries, and walls lined with books. Friends and strangers alike came to support me. I poured my energy into that cafe, building something real, something mine. Every morning when I unlocked the door and smelled the fresh bread baking, I felt proud. Eric had tried to tear me down. Instead, he had pushed me into the best chapter of my life. Funny how life works sometimes, isn't it? One afternoon, as I was setting out pastries, a woman walked in. She looked nervous, scanning the room like she expected someone to attack her. I recognized her immediately. Eric's new wife. She stood awkwardly at the counter, avoiding my eyes. I wondered if she knew who I was. I smiled politely, took her order, and handed her the coffee without a word. She left quickly, her cheeks red. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel pity. Just a strange, deep peace. She wasn't my problem, not anymore. Eric had made his choice, and so had I. Sometimes, late at night, I think back to that moment, the text from Hawaii, the way my world cracked open. At the time, it felt like the end. But it wasn't. It was the beginning. It forced me to stop clinging to something broken, to rebuild from scratch, to trust myself again. I lost a husband, sure, but I found something far more valuable: my independence, my strength, my voice. I wouldn't trade that for anything. Not even for a picture-perfect marriage built on lies. The woman I was back then wouldn't recognize the woman I am now. And that's a good thing. Today, my life is simple and beautiful. I wake up early, bake fresh bread, read books on the patio, and make real connections with people who value kindness over charm. I travel when I want. I laugh loudly. I sleep peacefully. No secrets, no late-night worries, no wondering if someone loves me. I love myself. That's enough. People sometimes ask if I would ever get married again. I smile and say, maybe. But next time, I'll be marrying myself first. They laugh, but I'm serious. No one will ever make me feel small again. I've learned better. Looking back, I realize Eric's betrayal was the best thing that ever happened to me. He thought he broke me. He thought he won. But I didn't just survive. I thrived. I built a life so beautiful that no amount of stolen money could ever touch it. The day he texted me from Hawaii, laughing about stealing my future, he didn't know he was handing me a new one, a better one. And every single morning when I walk into my cafe, I laugh too. Not with bitterness, but with pure, unstoppable joy. Because I won in every way that matters.